Okay, so we're ready now to have the listening activity. Remember that you need to have your book handy. Remember your ears need to be focused on the story. Are you ready? So now let's go to listen to Blackbeard the Parrot.
Track 3.
Blackbeard the Pirate, adapted by Samuel Cooper, illustrated by Richard Zeller. The year was 1680, and in the English port of Bristol, a little boy was born. His name was Edward Teach. Young Teach loved the ocean. As soon as he was old enough, he left home to travel the seas and make his fortune. At this time, Britain was at war with the French and Spanish, so Teach got a job as a privateer. The British government paid privateers to attack enemy ships in the Caribbean and Atlantic. Teach was a clever man, and he learned many things. The most important thing he learned was how to attack a ship quickly. He often plundered 3 ships before lunch, and then relaxed in the afternoon. He was tall and strong, and quick with a sword. Some said he could fight 4 people at once. Teach was such a successful privateer that he soon became captain of his own ship. He called it the Queen Anne's Revenge. But then the war ended, and Teach had no job. What shall I do now? Teach thought. I'm really good at plundering. It was then that he decided to become a pirate. But Teach was tired of fighting. It was time to use his brain, not his muscles. I know, he thought, if I make myself look like the most frightening pirate that ever lived, no one will want to fight me. I'll trick them into surrendering. Teach looked in the mirror. He didn't look very frightening. I'm rather handsome, actually, he said to himself, as he was a little bit vain. Then he had another idea. I'll grow a long black beard. That'll make me look frightening, he laughed. So Teach grew a black beard. After a few months, he looked in the mirror again. He looked like a jolly old grandpa. You're not scary enough, he shouted at himself. So he set to work on his appearance. First, he smeared black tar around his eyes. Then, he painted a scar on his cheek. Next, he practiced frowning angrily. Then, he had his best idea yet. He got a piece of rope from the ship's deck. He set fire to it and blew on it until it started smoking. Finally, he put the rope under his hat. When he looked in the mirror again, Teach was terrified. A wild and hairy man was staring back at him through a cloud of smoke. Blackbeard, he whispered to his reflection. You are Blackbeard. Then the smoke made him cough. Now, pirates don't talk. They growl and curse. And when they are in a good mood, they sing and shout. Blackbeard started practicing. Shiver me timbers! He shouted at the cat. You're a dirty cockroach, and make no mistake! The cat shrieked and ran out of the room. Ye smell like ye've been swimming in the toilet! Blackbeard roared after it. Then he sang a song. A yo-ho-ho and a fiddle-dee-dee. Blackbeard's here and he's coming for ye. Blackbeard did a little dance. Got myself a fine ship, he laughed. Now, all I need be a crew. Aye, I'll get me the most scary crew of pirates on the high seas. Then he went to find the cat, who was shivering with cold up on the deck. Sorry, Jess, he said. Here's your dinner. he threw her a fresh fish. That night, Blackbeard put up an advertisement on the door of the Anchor Tavern. It was where the most wild pirates went to relax. "Pirates wanted," said the ad. "Must look frightening. No experience necessary. Come to the Queen Anne's Revenge tomorrow at 10 a.m. The next morning, a line of pirates waited on the deck of the Queen Anne's Revenge. You have never seen such a wild and crazy bunch of pirates. Of course, being pirates, they all started growling, cursing, singing, and shouting. The noise woke Blackbeard up. He checked his pocket watch. It was 9:30 a.m. "Shiver me timbers!" Blackbeard cursed. "It be too early!" He was getting good at pirate language. He lit the rope under his hat and made sure he looked more terrifying than ever. Then he went up on deck. "Warg!" he roared. The pirates were frightened. In fact, some of them were so frightened that they jumped into the water and swam away. "You've all passed the first test," Blackbeard said to the pirates that stayed. Then he spoke to one of them. "Ahoy there, matey! Who be ye?" Blackbeard asked. "I be One-Eyed Jack," said One-Eyed Jack. "And how can ye help me, Jack?" asked Blackbeard. One-Eyed Jack told Blackbeard that he was the best lookout man across all the seas. With his good eye, he could see farther than a telescope. Blackbeard was pleased. "Ye can spot me the next ship to plunder," he said. Then he turned to the next pirate. "And who be ye?" "I be Hopalong Sam," said Hopalong Sam. Sam was the strongest pirate alive. He could pull up the anchor with one arm and check the sail with the other. This was all while standing on one leg. A shark ate the other one. "You're in," said Blackbeard. "Ye be needed for a quick escape." Blackbeard's crew grew and grew. By noon, there were over 50 men on his boat. "Do ye all like treasure?" cried Blackbeard. "Aye," replied the men. "Well, let's go. Pull up the anchor, Sam." The pirates cheered. They raised their swords and shot their pistols in the air. As the Queen Anne's Revenge sailed across the waters, Blackbeard told his crew about his idea. He explained that by looking fierce and acting fierce, anyone would give them their treasure. The pirates started growling and cursing. They only knew how to plunder by really fighting and really robbing and really throwing people into the water. "Ye don't believe me?" said Blackbeard. He started to get angry. He turned red and smoke came out of his ears. "Ye better believe me or ye be walking the plank!" he shouted as he pointed at the board and the sharks beneath it. The pirates were very afraid. There was silence on the boat. "Only joking," laughed Blackbeard. "Scared you, though?" The pirates laughed nervously, but they realized Blackbeard's plan was a good one. Suddenly, they were interrupted. "Ship ahoy!" called Jack from the top of the mast. "Avast ye! From where it be?" Blackbeard replied. "It be a cargo ship from Spain," shouted Jack. At this point, Blackbeard revealed his next trick. He told Sam to raise the Spanish flag on their mast. Then, he ordered everyone to hide below deck as the cargo ship sailed toward them. When the cargo ship was almost touching the Queen Anne's Revenge, Blackbeard's pirates jumped up onto the deck. They were roaring and shouting and looking and acting fierce. Then there was a loud bang. On top of the deck stood Blackbeard. Eyes blazing and his head surrounded in smoke, he looked more terrifying than ever before. "Raise the colors!" shouted Blackbeard. Sam took down the Spanish flag and raised Blackbeard's flag. "Now hand over the treasure!" he roared.